Here we are around about 24 hours removed since the internet imploded after Charlotte Flair took the place of Becky Lynch in the WrestleMania 35 main event. But calm down, people. Everything's going to be okay. And you can also put a smile on your face because we just had SmackDown. SmackDown was really good, aside from a few little foibles. It also served as the go-home show for the Elimination Chamber that's happening this Sunday. So let's put it all to bed by giving the good bits an up and by giving the bad bits a damn down. My name is Simon Millers, WhatCulture Wrestling. Let's up those downs for SmackDown. SmackDown did this really cool thing to start off because WWE did show all the footage from Raw with Vince McMahon coming out and saying, "I've got you a replacement." And as soon as he said that, we segued into the live version of SmackDown and Charlotte Flair came up for real. I liked it, it was different. Our new main eventer then just cut such a damn good heel promo, I'm surprised a few people can't see what's going on. Ronda Rousey was never a proper heel. We needed somebody to come in and act like a right asshole. That's what Charlotte is doing, and she's doing it really well. And don't worry, everybody, calm down. She'll get hers at WrestleMania 35 after Becky Lynch makes her way back into that match, and then we'll all be happier again. Rubbed it into the fans' faces as they just booed her consistently, and also said that WWE was never going to take a chance on a flash in the pan like Becky Lynch, but they'll always bet on Charlotte Flair. The whole time she had one of those looks on her faces that we've talked about time and time again, as if she was the darn cat that got the darn cream. And I am all in with this. I have bought in hook, line and sinker because I just think it tells a great story and it will make it all the sweeter when, yes, again, the man returns and beats Charlotte after she acted like a right dick. I think you're doing really well here, everybody involved. I can feel the rage coming through the camera. Charlotte also told Ronda that she's going to be front and center at the Elimination Chamber to watch her match against Ruby Riott, and maybe that will end with a brand new Raw's Women's Champion and utterly change the WrestleMania main event once again. I'll end this summary by simply saying every single great face always needs a great heel, and that's one I think we've got right now. We then had another one of these, whoever loses has to start first in the Elimination Chamber matches, and just like on Raw, it's really dumb. I mean, it makes sense why they'd have to do it on SmackDown, because now we know the two teams that are going to kick things off, but why couldn't we do it like the men later on? The men later on were saying, look, there's a big gauntlet match, and whoever wins that will come in last in the Elimination Chamber, so you've actually got something to fight for. That actually has logic to it, but here you've got people tagging in, even though that's of detriment to their team. I mean, the only people that didn't do this were the Iconics, but I think the only reason they didn't is because they were bad guys. It's not like they were trying to be smart, or at least that's not how it was portrayed. It's getting it down. Anyway, it was the Iconics taking on Naomi and Carmella, who were also taking on Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, and the finish came when Naomi hit a split-legged moonsault onto her fierce rival, that being Mandy Rose, which, yes, also means that Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville will be entering the Elimination Chamber first. Also really happy that I watched all that time on WWE TV when Mandy Rose was in a hotel room and Jimmy and Jay was there and there was a photographer, and what we got as a payoff was a couple of nothing matches on SmackDown. Somebody come and punch me in the face, because I made a huge mistake. A shout out to Corey Graves too, because he was talking about Naomi and Carmella and how they're a brand new tag team, and that could serve as a disadvantage because it's really hard to build a duo. You just can't go into the crowd and pick anybody, unless of course you're at WrestleMania, you're Braun Strowman, and you go and find a 12-year-old who is indeed in attendance. How you doing, Nicholas and Corey Graves? Boy, how did you get that wrong? The Iconics then beat down Naomi and Carmella after this, and really, it wasn't that great. Another down for the montage of promos that followed this that featured some of the women that are going to be in the tag team title match at the Elimination Chamber. The worst one was Nia Jax and Tamina. Nia Jax was speaking, and Tamina would just throw little things in there as and when she felt the need. But it was like right over the top of what Nia Jax was saying, so I couldn't understand Nia, nor could I understand Tamina. It was like this. I can't believe that this Sunday some people think they're gonna be able to beat us. We're Nia Jax and we're Tamina.
Down?
Heard from Mustafa Ali next, who let us know via a selfie promo that he's not going to be able to compete at the Elimination Chamber on Sunday because he has been suffering from injuries and WWE won't clear him. That obviously sucks, but Kofi Kingston is going to take his place. And don't worry, we'll get there, because this little story actually turns out okay. McMiz TV now, and yes, that name does sound like a new meal from McDonald's, but this was nowhere near as bad as I was expecting, and it was actually quite fun getting it up. It was mostly just The Miz and Shane goofing around, but we also found out, a little spoiler here, that Shane McMahon is going to appear on the TV program known as NCIS, starring alongside the likes of LL Cool J. They were soon interrupted by the Usos because of course they were. That's the tag team title match we're getting in a few days, and obviously we have to build it here. It's called wrestling. This somehow then turned into like a who knows who's best game show, and that sounds like it should be terrible on paper, but it was alright. Jimmy and Jay knew everything about each other, and when they challenged Miz and Shane McMahon to do the same, they would ask questions such as, what is your favourite colour? And the Miz would whisper it into Shane McMahon's ear. But because they didn't take themselves too seriously, again, it was entertaining. They even got a cheap pop by referencing a local minor baseball team, and honestly, that ticked everybody's box as well. I think it got the loudest cheer of the night, and it sustained for absolutely ages. It eventually got personal as The Miz mentioned Mandy Rose, and to end all this and put a big full stop on it, Jimmy and Jay did indeed super kick The Miz and Shane McMahon simultaneously. But before this, things were kind of heating up. There was a lot of rage, there was a lot of anger, and it was quite a nice promo battle. Colour me surprised. I am intrigued by the match too, but surely the Usos can't lose. But also, their contracts are up soon, and apparently they haven't signed new ones. Elimination Chamber just got really interesting. Right, make yourself comfortable, because at this point, SmackDown did pull out a bit of a risk. Much like Raw did around about a year ago, we had been pimping out this big Gauntlet match that we're having later on, and from this point on, right to the end of the show, that's what we got. I think it went around about an hour. It began with Bryan cutting one of his unhinged promos, which we all love now, and his point was very simple. I will enter the Elimination Chamber on Sunday, but I do not want to, but if I have to win that in order to be a martyr to you people, that is exactly what I'm going to do. Giving up for the Bryan promo. He got interrupted by the New Day, and it was at this moment that Beauty rose up from the ground and let itself be known to the wrestling community at large, because it was going to be Kofi Kingston taking the place of Mustafa Ali, as we talked about, and he put in one of those performances that was so good, that was so top, that was so exciting, he got a standing ovation when all was said and done. And we'll get into the whys in 1 second, but just know, as an overall thing, don't just give it an up, give it a golden up. It did start with Bryan versus Kofi as expected, but that damn Eric Rowan kept getting involved. Big E and Xavier Woods didn't like that, so they went and threw some fisticuffs, but oh no, the referee saw them, but he didn't see Recyclable Rowan, so the New Day had to go to the back. It didn't last long, because Rowan is not smart, despite what Bryan says, and he too got caught. He got thrown to the back as well, but that meant it was just Bryan versus Kofi Kingston, and if you can believe it, Kofi Kingston won. He hit the Trouble in Paradise to beat the WWE Champion, and I'm absolutely glad WWE did all of this, and also made sure the New Day, his pals, his buddies, did get removed from the situation, because it allowed us to focus on Kofi and go, oh yeah, Kofi Kingston's a damn good pro wrestler. Oh yeah, he's never won the WWE Championship. Oh yeah, maybe they're going to do a little something that ties into the pay-per-view. I mean, I'm going to tell you, when all this was said and done, I was like, I think I want Kofi Kingston to win the damn belt. This carried on as well, because he took out Jeff Hardy following the SOS, and he did the same when it came to Samoa Joe. The latter rocked too, because of the narrative they told. Samoa Joe was basically massacring Kofi Kingston, because that's what Samoa Joe does, and also Kofi was quite worn out. But then they pulled out the whole Bret Hart Roddy Piper finish, so Samoa Joe had Kofi Kingston locked in the Kikita clutch, and he was terrified. He pushed off the ropes, he rolled Samoa Joe up, 1, 2, 3, sent him packing too, and boy howdy was Samoa Joe not pleased. He was so pissed off that he utterly destroyed the New Day man, including choking him out on the outside, and it took AJ Styles arriving to chase him off with a broom. Just for the record, there was no broom, but one day I would like to see AJ Styles chase Samoa Joe off with a broom. AJ then had to wait for Kofi to get his bearings, and was also a bit worried about him, because, you know, they're both faces. You're like, Kofi, calm down. You don't have to do this. You've already done your best. Let's just call it a day. And Kingston got so riled up because he was so desperate for his opportunity, he started pushing AJ Styles. He was shouting, 11 years I've been waiting for this, 11 years. So Styles clocked him back, and then they had a badass match too. It was a lost cause, unfortunately, which did begin when Kofi went to smash AJ Styles in the face with double knees on the apron, Styles moved, which meant Kofi went flying into the ring post, and you should absolutely go check that out if you haven't seen it already, and AJ just capitalized on that, and he did get the win. But that was cool too, because Kofi Kingston went for the Trouble in Paradise, and AJ reversed that into the Calf Crusher, and then Kofi tapped it again. Like I mentioned, all the crowd stood up and were like, Kofi Kingston, we're sorry we haven't respected you recently. You are probably one of the best in the damn company, especially because you've been doing it so long. He isn't going to enter the chamber last then, but neither is Styles, because just before SmackDown went off air, Randy Orton's music started playing and AJ was all like, come on Viper, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna take you down. But he forgot about the RKO out of nowhere. Randy Orton turned up from behind him, smashed him with an RKO, 1, 2, 3, Randy Orton's going to be the last guy in the chamber. It was so good, and Randy looked like a proud parent whose kid had just won the spelling bee. I thought all in all, despite again from a few down points, this was a really good episode of SmackDown. I had a lot of fun, and WWE, don't overdo it, because it's been a good year since the last one, but these Gauntlet matches, they're alright, I tell you. They're alright. However, it is time to address a very specific situation, and from this point onwards, it will constitute towards the down until it gets rectified. But was Oscar on this show? No. Has Oscar been on the show since the Royal Rumble? No. Should Oscar have been here saying, look what I did to Becky Lynch, I'm the best ever since late January? Yes, and the fact that none of those things happens means not only does it get a down, put it on the counter, but we're going to keep giving it a down every single week until she finally is allowed to show back up. And on that note, where was the US Championship 2? Where was Rusev? Where was Nakamura? Where was R-Truth? Exactly. Now don't forget to leave a comment and let us know what you thought about last night's SmackDown. Like, share and subscribe. Head on over to WhatCulture.com and read yourself some articles. Go over here to Twitter and follow WhatCulture at WhatCulture WWE. And you're already on YouTube. Go and watch some more WhatCulture wrestling videos. It's the law. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. This was WhatCulture Wrestling, and just to prove you didn't make that up halfway through, yes indeed, this is a puppet version of me, and he's not even new. I've had him for ages. Thanks for watching, and of course, make sure you tune in on Monday when we up those downs for the Elimination Chamber. Can't throw my voice, not even gonna try.